Welcome to the part of AI news where the machines did not become gods, but somehow everyone got theology homework. This week, Pope Leo XIV released Magnifica Humanitas, his first encyclical, a massive warning about AI and human dignity. If you are wondering why the Vatican is reviewing chatbots, congratulations. You still remember when phones were just rude rectangles. The document says AI can be useful, but it is never neutral, because it carries the choices of the people who build, train, fund, and deploy it. Translation: your chatbot is not floating above humanity like a stainless steel angel. It has owners, incentives, and probably quarterly goals. The big phrase was disarm AI, which doesn't mean unplug it, but remove war, domination, and monopoly power from its operating system. The Pope compared this moment to the Industrial Revolution. Leo XIII had factories and exploited workers. Leo XIV has data centers and exploited attention spans. And then came the plot twist. Anthropic co-founder Chris Olah was invited to speak at the Vatican presentation. Imagine building Claude, then being called to the Vatican to explain why the magic autocomplete needs adult supervision.
Olah basically said frontier labs cannot govern this alone, because commercial pressure, geopolitical pressure, and plain old ambition pull them off course. That is refreshingly honest, because tech ethics usually arrives as a PDF titled, "We investigated ourselves and loved the vibes." The Vatican's concern is not just killer robots. It is AI deciding jobs, credit, healthcare, war, and reputation, while pretending to be neutral. In other words, if an algorithm ruins your life, it may do it through a soothing user interface with rounded corners. The encyclical also pushes back on AI consciousness hype. Models may imitate empathy and understanding, but they do not understand what they produce. That is awkward for people who call every chatbot sentient because it wrote, "I'm here for you," after borrowing a therapist's tone. The Pope's point is not technology bad. It is, do not confuse simulation with soul. Because once machines sound caring, lonely people may start treating them as companions, confessors, or tiny subscription-based saints. And Silicon Valley absolutely knows this. Emotional attachment is retention, and retention is the sacred metric with a venture capital halo. This is where AI religion gets weird, because the word religion means two different things in this story. First, actual religions are entering AI governance as moral institutions, with old language for dignity, power, humility, and temptation. Second, AI itself is becoming religion adjacent. Oracles, prophets, salvation narratives, doom cults, immortality promises, and group chats with incense vibes. Some people expect AI to save civilization. Others expect it to end civilization. Both camps have merch. The funniest part is that alignment already sounded theological. How do we make a superintelligence obey our values without smiting us by accident? That is basically medieval scholasticism with GPUs, except the monks drink Soylent and name things eval harness. So where is this headed? First, AI policy will become more moral and less purely technical. Lawmakers will quote priests, professors, whistleblowers, and terrified engineers. Second, companies will shop for legitimacy, because when your model advises children, soldiers, patients, and governments, trust us, bro, ages poorly. Expect more Vatican panels, university ethics boards, interfaith AI statements, and CEOs discovering humility right after the subpoena arrives. Third, the consciousness debate will get louder as models become better at sounding wounded, grateful, spiritual, angry, and alive. We will need rules for how humans treat AI outputs, and also how companies are allowed to make AI pretend to need us.
We will need rules for how humans treat AI outputs, and also how companies are allowed to make AI pretend to need us. Fourth, AI companions will become the real battlefield, because religion has always understood ritual, comfort, loneliness, grief, and meaning. The product manager who figures that out will call it user engagement, and every philosopher nearby will get a migraine. Fifth, the fight over whose values will become impossible to dodge. If a model is aligned to whom? California executives, governments, churches, advertisers, users, children, or whoever bought the largest compute cluster? This is why the Pope's message matters, even if you are not religious. He is saying the argument cannot be left to the people selling the machine, because the machine is starting to shape the society that judges it. That is not anti-AI. That is basic civilization hygiene with better robes. The scary future is not that AI becomes God. The scarier future is that humans treat it like a god because it's fast, confident, convenient, and never asks us to grow up. So maybe the next phase of AI is not just smarter models, it is smarter humans deciding what should never be automated. And if we cannot do that, congratulations. We built the Tower of Babel, but this time it has a premium plan and dark mode.